Hey you guys, I am back. Today we are going to come in and we're going to start introducing the actual steps of the diversity process. Before I get started introducing the first step of the diversity process, I am going to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Nikki C. Patterson, owner and operator of I Prevail K through 12 Academic Learning Center and I Prevail K through 12 Educational Consulting. As an educational consultant, I teach parents how to disrupt the one size fits all practices, policies, and procedures of the public school system so that their child can receive a quality education. Typically, when I'm coming in to address or answer a question or concern that a parent has in regards to helping their child receive a quality education. However, with so much going on in our district, as far as trying to fix the low performing schools, not renewing our superintendent's contract, and many other things, I wanted to come in so that we can not only understand the problems that are facing our lowest performing schools, but that we can also create a plan to fix it. When the new superintendent comes in, we can hand them the plan, and we have been proactive rather than reactive. For far too long, those schools have not shown their greatness, and I wanted to be a part of the change that was made there. So I'm offering the information that I have not only as a teacher who's worked in a district for more than 10 years, but also as a parent who's advocated for my own son to receive a quality education, and also as a former student who has attended the Assumption Parish school system and done well in it. I came out of poverty and now I no longer live in poverty. I want the same for everyone else who so chooses that. And so, what I wanted to do was create a book study around my book, How to Win as a Principal. This book, the contents of this book came about because as a parent, I was advocating for my own son to receive a quality education. And each day that I went in there, I was hit with another problem and another problem and another problem. And so I would write all of that information down. And it created what we now know as the diversity process. And each one of the letters of the diversity process is a problem that I found in the low performing schools, especially Belrose. But also it provides a solution for how I was able to solve the problem and help my son to receive a quality education. And so in a previous video, I explained to you that I will be sharing with you, introducing each step of the diversity process, as well as explaining what solutions can become of the diversity problem once it's implemented, and also what the schools look like with the diversity process and without the diversity process. So the first letter in the diversity process, of course, is D, and D represents demographics matters. If we look in the book on page 54 and 55, we're going to see that there's a definition for demographics. And it says that demographics in a school relates to the statistical data that describes a school's students and organization. This information can include factors such as culture and income levels of students, teachers, class sizes, and graduation rates. By understanding the school's demographics, educational leaders can make a significant impact in the lives of students in their schools. That is what we want to be able to do. We want to make a significant impact in the lives of the students in not only just the Belrose schools, but any low performing school that services Black children or students from low income communities in America and around the world. I truly believe that looking at demographics, we can honestly take a closer look at who our students are in each of these schools and who the adults are that are working with our students. That goes from the bus drivers to the school leaders to the educators to the support staff. Everyone plays a part in raising and rearing these children. But what happens when we're not looking at the data? What happens when we're not looking at who students are? Well, take this for example. Suppose you, coming from poverty, I have been excited and also exposed to a lot. And suppose I was exposed to a rich friend who lived in a wealthy neighborhood. And I go into the restroom, and there are two types of facilities where I can use the restroom. There's one, a bidet, and there's a regular toilet. Of course, I'm gonna go to the toilet, but that's not gonna stop my curiosity from trying to figure out what the other contraption is. If no one ever explains to me what a bidet is and why it's used, I don't know what it is. And that's the same thing that happens with our students. A lot of students are saying, hey, when they go into schools, they're saying this is the restroom. And they're like, well, what is this thing? And it's like, oh, that's a bidet. Use it. I don't know how to use that. In my house, we have a toilet. And you're like, yeah, but in this school, we use bidets. It's not going to work. It's like oil and water. They don't mix. And so we're wondering, well, why is there so many issues in the public school system? Why are the teachers fleeing? Why? No one understands the other person. And in the book, I give prime examples of how that breaks down when students and teachers don't understand each other. They don't understand their culture. They don't understand the economic levels. One example was when we were in a meeting and school leaders basically said, I could not imagine going home and not having dinner with my family. Every day, every night, my family and I sat at the dinner table to have dinner. And I said, well, you realize in this community, some of these parents are still working when these children get home. So they're basically having to fend for themselves. So that's a difference in what they're experiencing versus what you experience. And if you bring that to them and you're saying, hey, I couldn't imagine, it's very offensive. Because now they're going to feel like their life is broken. And we need to stop making our children feel like their life is broken. But we need to help them to understand that the situation that they find themselves in now can be changed. They do not have to stay in the situation and the environments that they are now currently living in. They had no control over this, but they do have control over their future. So if we start to use the demographics of our adults and our students, I guarantee you, we can create a win-win situation for our students. And we can stop having our students to feel like there's a problem with them because more teachers are going to stay on campus. The discipline is going to decrease because now you're going to understand the cultural, financial, economic, educational barriers that your children and the students have, how they differ from your teachers' expectations and experiences in life, and how you can use both sets of demographics to come together to create a winning plan. So that's why in the diversity process, D matters. Demographics matters. If you know who your students are, then you know what issues can come about if you have different experiences. But when you don't know who your students are and they have different cultural backgrounds and economic backgrounds than their teachers, then you have a perfect breathing ground for how a student who doesn't know how to use a bidet is being asked to use one. And that's not going to create anything but chaos. So let's get rid of the chaos, show how our demographics matter, and start using them to win as a principal. I hope this has been helpful for you. If it has, please drop us a comment and let us know. Oh my God, I never thought about demographics. Or wow, I didn't realize that that's what demographics were. I know a lot of times we want to shun and move away from talking about race and finances and different things. But in a school system where those things are prevalent and we know they're different, we can't shun and not talk about those conversations. So let's have those conversations. If you want to be a part of the conversation, we are hosting a book study. Well, we'll be going through each one of these different steps of the process, and we'll be creating a plan for how we can improve our lowest performing schools. Now that you know what the first step is, and you can see whether or not your teachers and your students have similar demographics or different demographics, and you can start writing down issues, concerns that you may have and bring them to the book study. More information is going to be provided on the book study, but make sure in the meantime you can go to Amazon or reach out to me and get your copy of How to Win as a Principal so that you can start studying. Hope to see you soon. Talk to you later. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. info@NikkiCPatterson.com. Talk to you later. Bye.